Good morning, I'm Sarah Sapsanama and these are the top stories this hour. At least 18 people dead and 14 others gravely injured in a bus accident in Dadildhura. Passengers returning from Ugratara Fair in Amargadi municipality. Chief Justice's verdict from the Constitutional Bench contradicts his own decision made in the past. Scenario paves way for many defendants running scot-free. Kantipur construction to be blacklisted by Road Division as well, charged with extreme negligence in construction works in recent time. And Australia stormed into the finals of ICC Women's World T20, defeating defending champions West Indies by 71 runs. England make it to the finals, defeating India by 8 wickets. 18 people have been killed and 25 injured after a bus travelling from Dadildhura to Doti met with an accident yesterday evening. According to Chief District Officer of Dadildhura, Mohan Raj Joshi, 10 passengers died on the spot while 8 others breathed their last during treatment in sub-regional hospital in Dadildhura. Among the deceased, 13 are men and 5 women. 5 of the deceased have been identified as 22-year-old Chakradhami of Dadildhura, Navadurga, 35-year-old Shashi Vishwakarma of Doti's Silgadi municipality, 25-year-old Goda Bhat and 16-year-old Rohit of Balayal of Sikhad municipality, 40-year-old Kaishal Rawal and 40-year-old Yogendra Rawal. The rest of the deceased are yet to be identified. The bus plunged around 200 meters from the road near Radua River in Amargadi municipality, ward number 11 in Dadildhura. 14 others gravely injured are being treated at the Nepalganj and Dhangadi hospitals, while 25 others are receiving treatment at the sub-regional hospital Dadildhura. The ill-fated bus was returning from Ugratara Fair in Amargadi municipality of Dadildhura, and the passengers had reserved the bus owned by Peace Zone Academy. Likewise, a person has died and 16 others have been injured in another accident that took place near Mallikarjun Temple in Darchula earlier this morning. And with that, we'll move on to the latest national political updates. Chief Justice Om Prakash Mishra and other Justice Kedar Prasad Chalise have issued a verdict from the Constitutional Bench that is to affect their own decisions made in the past. A 5-member Constitutional Bench, including Mishra and Chalise, declared on Wednesday that the decision made by the then Secretary in the capacity of the Acting Chief at the Commission for Investigation of Abuse of Authority, CIAA, as unconstitutional. Law practitioners are of the opinion that cases could now appear weaker after a writ was filed by the defendants of the 18 cases, including the officials of Kalimati Fruits and Vegetable Market Development Committee, who were all charged by the CIA while being led by the Secretary. All the responsibilities of the CIA were assigned to the then anti-graft Secretary Bhagwati Kumar Kafle on the 4th of January 2010 after the tenure of the Chief Commissioner and other commissioners had expired. The CIA, which at the time operated for around 3 years under the Secretary, investigated and prosecuted popular cases including the Sudan scandal. During the period, the CIAA filed around 350 cases at the special court. Defendants of corruption cases had reached the Supreme Court with writs claiming that the Secretary had breached his authority. Based on the definition of the Supreme Court, rights were not transferred by the CIA officials to the Secretary, but responsibilities were assigned, which the Apex Court had termed legitimate. Based on the same definition, the special court has issued verdicts on a number of cases. Actions have already been taken against many individuals after the final decision from the Supreme Court, while many are still serving their sentences. A writ has been issued by the Constitutional Bench, led by Chief Justice Mishra, to nullify all those actions taken by the CIAA during the leadership of the then Secretary. Chief Justice Mishra and Justice Chalise have also erased the arrangement of having separate justices hear the disputed cases where a different verdict was issued in the past. The Constitutional Bench has issued a writ of cancelling the actions taken by the Secretary, saying the right of deciding against the abuse of authority remained only with the CIAA Commissioner. Based on the decision, the defendants of 18 different cases have immediately received a clean sheet. Law practitioners have said that this will weaken the other cases of similar nature. Now, following the government backlashing, Pappu Construction is going to be blacklisted by the Road Division as well. The Pappu Construction has been charged with extreme negligence in construction works in recent time. The Road Division office in Hetauda is all poised to blacklist Pappu Construction as the works at Tibale Bridge in Bada has barely completed 40% works in 7 years. Pappu Construction had already received a payment of 6.54 million rupees for the construction of Tibale Bridge that was to be completed in July of 2013. The Road Division's decision has come less than a week after Sikta irrigation project Bake had recommended to blacklist Pappu Construction and its partner company Costa, claiming their negligence in meeting the construction deadline. Pappu had received tenders for 2 bridges from Hetauda Road Division office. However, the construction work of Tibale Bridge and Nabarangia Bridge of Parsa, tendered in year 2011, has not completed in the span of these 7 years. The action has been initiated after the construction company failed to provide a reasonable justification for the delay. Pappu has received most of the tenders from offices that are under the Road Division office. Pappu has single-handedly covered over 35 tenders comprising bridges and roads worth 12 billion rupees. Among them, the work progress report of 22 tenders is below 50%. The division is going to call on Public Procurement Monitoring Office within this week for blacklisting Pappu Constructions. And with that, we'll go for a short break here. We have more news when we come back. Do stay with us. Prime Minister KP Sharma Oli has issued a directive to the ministries urging them to change the working mechanism following widespread criticism of the government's below-par performance. On the second day of quarterly review meeting yesterday, Premier Oli expressed dissatisfaction over the lack of coordination between ministries and the federal, provincial and local levels. Premier Oli warned that the slack on behalf of the ministers and secretaries citing legal hindrances would not be acceptable and directed the ministers to plan their works in a progressive manner. In the review meeting held at Singhadarwar yesterday, Premier Oli questioned Minister for Tourism and Ministry's Secretary regarding the financial loss incurred by Nepal Airlines Corporation and the status of the recently purchased new wide-bodied aircrafts. Premier Oli also directed public officials not to waste time in policy, meeting and discussions and to refrain from taking extra allowance for meetings held during office hours. Likewise, Premier Oli also urged the ministers to promote afforestation, adapt cooperative model for agricultural production and modernize tourism and service sector to generate employment opportunities. And moving on, the government confirmed that the land of the police academy at Maharajganj will be used to construct helipad for the President's office. At the regular press conference held yesterday, government spokesperson and Minister for Communications, Gokul Prasad Baskota, informed that the government has decided to proceed with displacing the police academy and purchasing a new vehicle for the President despite public outcry over the decision. Minister Baskota defended the government's decision, citing it was required to maintain the dignity of the President's status rather than encouraging extravagance as reported in some media. In the press meet held yesterday at the Communications Ministry, Minister Baskota also informed that the government has formed a committee to formulate a national strategy to develop power, trade and consumption. Likewise, Minister Baskota also said the government has decided to distribute relief materials and grants to the landslide victims of Sindhu Palchok. The relief packages would match the ones provided to other earthquake victims. And with that, we have more news coming up, but right now it's time for yet another short break. Hundreds of hectares of government land in the outskirts of Udaipur district have been encroached by squatters, and the indifference on the part of local representatives has only amplified the encroachment as of recent. In this context, we have asked those living in the encroached land regarding the reason behind their compulsion to live in the government land illegally. In our Public Voice segment, let's take a look at what they had to say.
पुँजी हुँदैन नम्बरी किन्नको लागि अब खोलाको छेउछाउ बजारको अब बीच सकिदैन पैसै हुँदैन हामी जस्ता मान्छेहरु अब पहाडतिरबाट झरेको यसो चाहिँ अब पुँजी सानो भएको कारणले गर्दा यति सस्तो मस्तो पाइयो अनि यति किन्यो बस्यो
व्यक्तिगत जग्गामा बसेर लखाटिहाल्छ अब बस्ने अब हामी जनतै सरकारी अब भनेर सरकारी बसिरहेको
बस्ने ठाउँ थिएन अहिले अनि जग्गा अलिकता लिएर यसो मान्छेसँग किनमेल गरेर अनि बसेको छु
गरिब मान्छे अब पैसा छैन त्यही थिएन नम्बर किनेर बस्नु भयो नि अनि यस्तै थोरै तिन पैसामा बसेको
नम्बर लिँदा त अब अलिक महँगै पर्ने अब पहिले खाली नै अब थियो अब के अरे त्यही 3 लाखमा किन्यौँ अनि बस्यौँ त्यही बात त
जग्गा छैन अब यही किन्नु भयो होला नि जग्गा नै त्यही भएर अब यतै बनायो
It's now time for our segment Public Pulse, where you text us with your opinion.
Public Pulse.
And your question is, will the ministries expedite their works following the Prime Minister's directive? Your options are A, yes, B, no, and C, hope for the best, but can't say. The voting for that question is on. Type NEWS, select your option A, B or C and send it to 34001 to share your opinion with us. With that, it's now time for the sports update.
Sports news.
Manang Marsyangdi club defeated arch rivals 3-star club 2-1 to climb to the top of Martyrs Memorial A Division Football League. In the match held at Sadabato Enfa complex yesterday, Anjan Vista utilized a pass by Heman Gurung to give Manang the all-important lead. Anjan Vista's opening goal came 11 minutes into the match. Manang's foreign recruit Adije took advantage of 3-stars' weak defense to double the lead for Manang 7 minutes later. Despite resting four of their key players, Manang managed to build pressure on 3-star right from the start. Ranjit Dhimal scored for 3-star in the 82nd minute through penalty to reduce the deficit. This was 3-star's first defeat of the league, while Manang chalked out 3 consecutive victories. Meanwhile, in another match played yesterday, Chassel Youth Club hammered New Road team NRT 5-1. Bimal Gharti Magar and Amir Shrestha each scored a brace to give Chassel its first win in the league. Chassel took its lead in the 14th minute with a goal from Amir Shrestha, who doubled the club's lead in the 29th minute. Bimal Gharti Magar scored his debut goal in the A Division League in the 57th minute. Santosh Saukhala stretched Chassel's goal tally to 4-0 in the 63rd minute, utilizing a pass from Bimal Gharti Magar. Bimal himself scored his personal second in the 87th minute to make it 5-0 for Chassels. NRT's foreign recruit Mosood Anbola scored a consolation goal in the injury time to seal the match 5-1. Now, Province 2 and Nepal Police Club have progressed to the quarterfinals of the Chief of Army Staff Women's International Invitational Football Tournament currently underway in the capital. Province 2 thrashed Province 5 8-0 in the match played at Army Training Center, Lagankhel, yesterday. Dilkumari Rana Magar and Roshani Limbu scored a brace each for Province 2. In another match played yesterday, Nepal Police Club crushed Karnali Province 9-0. Niru Thapa scored a hat-trick in the police team's victory, while Suwani Kasuar, Nirmala Upadhyay, Srijana Kharka and Rupa Magar scored a goal each. Karnali had also gifted an own goal to police in the match. The quarterfinal matches begin from today. And moving on, Butol Dynamites have secured their berth at the semi-finals of the Tilotama Premier League currently underway in Rupandehi. Butol won against MoneyGram Kings by 22 runs to book their place in the last 4 of the tournament. Electing to bat first at the ground of Nawajiwan Club, Butol Dynamites posted 157 runs, losing 4 wickets in 20 overs. In reply, MoneyGram could only manage 135 runs for the loss of 8 wickets in 20 overs. Despite the loss, MoneyGram have also progressed to the semi-finals as winners of Group B with 4 points from 2 wins. Meanwhile, the first match played yesterday saw Royal Shankarnagar secure 71-run win over Lumbini Kasai. Shankarnagar won the toss and batted first, posting 185 runs for the loss of 7 wickets. In reply, Lumbini were bowled out for 114 runs in 16 overs. Shankarnagar are in the semi-finals as winners of Group A, while Lumbini progressed as runners-up. Semi-final matches of the tournament are scheduled from today. And more sports news, Sadio Mane has extended his contract with the English club Liverpool for 5 years. Based on the new contract, the Senegalese striker that joined Liverpool in 2016 from Southampton will make £150,000 per week. The 26-year-old stated that he was encouraged to extend his stay at Liverpool after teammates Mohamed Salah and Roberto Firmino signed new contracts too. Liverpool's outstanding player Mane was among the key players that helped Liverpool to the finals of the Champions League last season. Mane had scored 10 goals in 20 games in his first season with Liverpool. Likewise, he had also scored 3 goals at the Russia World Cup this year. Now, before we wrap up, here's a look at the top stories once again. At least 18 people dead and 14 others gravely injured in a bus accident in Dadel-Dhura. Passengers returning from Ugratara Fair in Amargari municipality, Dadel-Dhura. Chief Justice's verdict from the Constitutional Bench contradicts his own decision made in the past. Scenario paves way for many defendants running scot-free. Pappu Construction to be blacklisted by Road Division as well, charged with extreme negligence in construction works in recent time. And Australia stormed into the finals of ICC Women's World T20, defeating defending champions West Indies by 71 runs. England also reached the finals, defeating India by 8 wickets. And that's all for the moment. Our next English bulletin will be at 11 this morning. Keep watching Kantipur TV HD for more news and entertainment. Have a good morning.